to the Vapor Chronicles.
My name is Brian, this is the Vapor Chronicles, and today we're going to take a look at a beautiful mechanical mod from Trinity glass tanks. This is called the US1 competition mod. And let me tell you something, well, you don't even need to know. If you've been following the Vapor Chronicles, watching the vape team, watching Not Another Vape Show, you know that I absolutely adore and love the Trinity glass US1. I love it. I love it, okay? Originally when they first dropped, I bought the stainless, and it has not let me down. I still use it all the time. But then when they re-released the second run, I purchased the black one. Then they contacted me and they said, we're going to send you all three different colors on top of the black, and they did that. So I have every color. I love the US1. I use it every single day. It is my #1 favorite 18652 mod to date, and I just think it's brilliant, okay? I got a lot of them too, and this is the one that I just continuously go back to, and on this I have the US1 Addy that matches perfectly on it. I got a whole lot to tell you about this thing. I got pros, I got cons, everything in between. So why don't we do this? Let's take a closer look.
Let's dive in and break it down.
These are some extra little O-rings that go in the bottom of the device. I'll show you that in a little bit. They also give you an extra spring, and you get the mod. Now this mod has been used a lot, like a lot. So you'll notice that the bottom here, this has got patina on it. But it's a nice copper button on the black version. I'm going to show you all 4 colors that come with it, because it does come in stainless steel, black, brass, and copper. Notice how flush this is with the bottom. So I put this on things all the time and I never worry about it firing, but the throw is just so short. Look at that. Very, very precise. And this is the #1 feature that I love about this device. I mean, yes, I love the curvature, I love the smooth lines, I love the feel in the hand, but the biggest thing that I like is this. Short throw. I can even use the arthritic pinky that I have because I broke this, and like when I'm holding it, I can even, hit it and it fires with that. See that? Kind of creepy, but yeah. So on the top here you can see USA High Performance. Each one of these is individually serialized, and you can see I'm number 408 right here, and that's actually CNC machined. This is not a laser engraving, so it's very deep. It's raised and it's not going anywhere, so that's perfect. Another feature is I love the fact that it splits in the middle. I love that for ease of changing batteries, but I also absolutely love it for safety. If I feel something getting hot or there's a problem with the battery or something, it's so nice to be able to just quickly split it and separate the contact at the top. I love that ability to do that. Also, you'll notice that there's generous venting right at the top where everything gets the most warmth from firing your atomizer, and there's nice big holes for venting there. So when I split this, all the threads very, very smooth. Everything's just machined to perfection, and you can see that's the inside. So they have this Delrin insulator here, and there's a Delrin insulator here, and what that's going to do is that's going to protect you just in case you wouldn't want to intentionally put damaged batteries into an unregulated mechanical device like this. But if you didn't see something, you were in a rush or something happened, it's nice to have this safety and this security of this sleeve. I also noticed that if you have a problem with these like sort of sliding out, because when I first got them these were falling out, all you have to do is just take your hand, squeeze it like this, and then what that does is it puts pressure and it keeps it from sliding out. Works really well. So as you can see on the black version, everything's copper on the inside. Paint seems really strong on this thing. And I beat this. I mean, I use this thing all the time. Put it in my pocket with keys and stuff. And there are some imperfections, but this is a mod that I beat. This is a few months old, and I've used the shit out of it, so I have really no complaints about that at all. So accessing your button, I like to use tweezers because it gives me a little bit more surface area. I just put that down here, and I sometimes just put my finger in there and use my fingernail and then just unscrew it. So any way you like, as long as you have the ability, this is actually screwed in. So there you go. So as you can see, the machining on this is beautiful. This has been used, but I don't know, man. The reason why this thing is so butter smooth is how smooth it is inside here and how close the tolerances are. No crunching, this thing just slides in and out. It's perfect. All the threads here, just very, very smooth, and the contact points are perfect. There's no button rattle or anything. You see this little spacer that's at the bottom here. It's I guess it's silicone or rubber or something like that. But when you put your battery down in here, you'll notice that it hits. And when you close the threads for the middle split part, you can see this compresses, and it creates enough room for this to move so that you don't have any battery rattle at all. I use predominantly Sony VTC 5As, and that's just my battery of choice. But yeah, no problems there. As you can see, this goes in here like that. This makes a connection. Hold it down. Also, having this split in the middle allows you much easier access to screw and unscrew these different parts in. I want you to listen to this. By far my choice, and this is why I love this mod so much, and also the safety, obviously. So put that in here. You can see it's protected at the bottom, and there you go. Battery, top, spin, and I like to keep this split a little bit. And for this black, we're going to use the actual US1, which is made for this perfectly. And this is 25 millimeters at the top here, and then it's 24 millimeters inside. So the way that they designed this is for this to sort of slip in. And I'm going to pop this and just make sure that's nice and tight. See how that sits in there? And then I'll align the airflow. That snaps in. And then I'm going to tighten this down. Now when you get about here, you'll feel that little spring or that little rubber gasket making contact, and then just tighten it up, and that gets rid of all your battery rattle. Nothing's loose. And then the firing on this thing, I mean, it's just instantaneous, and it's brilliant. I love it. Beautiful combo together. But say you're interested in maybe 25 millimeters, right? Beautiful. Kennedy. There's a 25 millimeter Kennedy, and it sits perfectly on here, and it's just, you know, it's beautiful. You can have this little breath in here, this little indent. There's a little indent down here, and it gets wide at the middle. And as you can see on the stainless, there you go. I have noticed that the stainless is a little less perfect on this version than on my original. I was the first buyer of the original US1, which is, this is the old. This is the original before they switched to this. So this is definitely beat up. But I can tell that the machining on this was just a little bit more smooth, but so close. And the engraving on this one's better. This one's much more affordable, and the button, it's still awesome. Nice short throw. Maybe you're a brass hole. This is a nice patinaed one. I've been using the hell out of this. 24 millimeter on there, and I don't mind 24s on there. I like this little lip right here. No problem there at all. You also have a brass button on this one. This could use a bath. Same smoothness. Everything's great. And last but not least, US1 Addy, US1 copper. Absolutely gorgeous. And on this one, you also have the copper button. I have noticed since I have a couple of these, you can sort of interchange the button. Like say you wanted a brass button on the copper and a copper button on the brass or something like that, you could switch these out and they can work on different ones. Or maybe you wanted a stainless button. So there you go. I've even seen people do splitsies, you know. Black, copper, black, right? So any way you like it, any way you want to sort of dial it down to, this thing's got you. The US1 Trinity glass tanks. And let's zoom back out and let's take it for a vape. There you go, the up close, beautiful. Yeah, so you might be saying to yourself, well, Brian, why do you love it so much? It's expensive. It's just a piece of metal. Blah, 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 blah. Well, first of all, I know the owners, and I think that they're stand-up. I think they're committed to quality, and they just have that like laser focus on excellence. And I knew it when I talked to them at Miami last year, and when I felt in my hands a year ago the prototype of this, it was a must-have. You can just feel it. You touch it one time, you fire the button, and you just know instantaneous firing, and the throw is just butter. It's butter. The safety features in this thing, I love not having to worry, okay? And having it split in the middle like this, if you have a problem, if you start feeling this thing getting warm, boom, you're done, okay? So many devices, you gotta do this and do that to get the battery out, and this thing is quick release and it's easy. Also the shape, the way it fits in the little nooks, the way I can fire it with my pinky or my pointer finger, the ease of firing. It's stiff enough to give you a response, but it's not so stiff that it's going to get your hand carpal tunnel or get your hand tired. It's absolutely phenomenal. All the different color finishes, brass, copper, stainless, black. It looks good with everything, and it's just wonderful. All the engravings, the serialized, at a price point of $140. Now that seems like a lot, and it is, okay? It's a lot. For a tube that's USA made, that's built with this quality and this precision, and I have ones that cost 3 times this much and I prefer this over it, this is a steal for the price. Let's get into pros and cons. Pros. USA made, best button in the business. There's dual insulator sleeves for safety. The beautifully threaded, seamless, splitting middle so you can access your batteries easily, make adjustments, and also for safety, it's great. 4 different colors available, deep engraved serial number, and the price is wonderful. The cons. Some people might like 24mm RDAs or RTAs or something like that, and they might find the little lip that's on here bothersome. Personally, it doesn't bother me at all. If it bothers you, you're going to have to find a 25mm like the Kennedy or something like that to sit on there pretty, okay? I find that it looks balanced both ways, and it doesn't bother me, but I need to point that out. Like, you know, here you can see there's a little lip on there. Not a bother to me, but for some people it might be. Also, I noticed on the second run, I like the deeper engraving on the serial numbers, and everything seems good, but the stainless one out of the other 3, and I don't know if it's because the metal's harder, but I noticed that the threads and everything just weren't exactly as good as the original. It's still awesome. It's still wonderful, but the first run was on like a whole nother level. The new one is better than the best of the competition, but it just doesn't have that extra little tiny bit. I'm talking like 2%. Maybe more focus on polishing or hand sanding or something like that. But there's just a little difference in the threads, a little tiny difference in the button. Still amazing, but not what the original one was by a small margin. So to sum it all up, this is my favorite single 18650 mechanical mod. I love it. I've used it for more miles than any other device that I own, and I'm going to continue using it in the future. All I can say is, can we get a 2700, 21700 version of this? Come on, Trinity Glass Tanks, let's do it, all right? Yeah, bravo. Thank you to them for sending me the extras. Thank you to them for creating such a spectacular device that I can highly recommend. 2 thumbs up. Pick one up. Links below. They're in stock. Lastly, if you want to check out my review for the US1 Addy, I'll put a link below in the description for this video, and you can check that out too. And yeah, well built, beautifully machined, awesome performance, affordable, quality. What is there not to like? And that's it, guys. I got a whole lot more where this came from. I will see you real soon right here on the Vapor Chronicles.